Tanya, how are you doing?
Hi, I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. Are you enjoying the press day?
I am. It's been a while since we've had a press day with this actor strike of ours.
I know. I miss doing press days in person where
Me
I can
too.
I can present you with gifts.
Uh, that's the part I miss the most.
Yeah, just I usually give
The,
the gift of olive oil and vinegar. I
do
don't know
you?
why. Yeah, it's true.
That's great.
We have a
You know, I was
family
listening.
brand.
Toscano, you're Italian, aren't
Yeah.
you?
Hey.
Hey.
Yeah.
I was listening to Steven Maniscalco, you know him, the comedian,
Sure.
and on his podcast when he's got guests on, I think he had Bill Burr on a couple of weeks ago, and he gives them a huge like a meat and cheese board every single time someone shows up, and it's all these like actors and comedians that are like on diets and like going somewhere after, and they're like, "What are we gonna do? Where do I put this huge board of cheese? I mean, thanks for the gift, but do I put it in the car? Or what do I
Oh,
do with this?" But I would accept it because I'm a big charcuterie cheese person.
I
So
know.
I accept all gifts.
You seem like you're Italian to me.
I am Italian, actually. I'm from, my mom is from the south of France. She's from Corsica, which
Oh.
was Italy for a very long period of time. So they're very, essentially French Italian.
Well, now that we've gotten that out of the way, and now that we're best friends,
Yeah.
um, let's talk about Walden because this is a really tight thriller, isn't it?
And a surprising one, too.
Yeah.
I, um, yes, I mean, I was sent the script by a casting director named Shannon McCanyon, who has like wonderful taste, and I love her very much. And knew of the cast that was attached, so it was a pleasure for me to like join the cast. But in terms of the story, firstly, I didn't know anything about stenography or stenographers in general. There weren't really anybody I paid attention to in the courtroom, and that was one thing that I found kind of interesting, considering a story around that. And also the crazy twist that this movie takes and the acting choices of our lead, Emil Hirsch, which, to be frank, reading on the page did not match at all what I expected once I showed up on set. So it truly felt like we were making a different movie, and that was really exciting. I think it shows too
yeah.
as a viewer.
In my critic notes, I said this film you can open a bottle of wine with this film because it's got so many twists.
That's good
It is.
compliment.
Yeah, it is so well done, and that's what I love about a good mystery thriller is you think you know, but you never know. And
Mm-hmm.
kudos to Emil because
Yeah.
he is a chameleon kind of actor.
Mm-hmm. Fully, fully. I mean, the transformation, like he really, with some guidance with Mick, I'm sure, or whatever conversations they had, but none of the his none of his eccentricities were written into that script at first glance at all. I mean, these were really strong choices that Emil decided to go with, and I don't know what state of mind he had to put himself in to do it, but you don't get too many surprises on sets, really, not after reading a script. If you've done it long enough, you kind of can sort of have an idea in your head of what it's going to feel like when you're there. But this like defied all expectations. So just from one actor to another, like hats off to him. And also just to watch his performance while we were on set was great. And I think it really takes the movie, it just gives it so much more color. And you're not just watching another crime thriller, another vigilante story. It's got something else because you got this Looney Tunes eccentric character at the center of it.
And Shane West ain't no slouch either. I mean,
No, he's not. He was
just a brilliant
wonderful.
performance. And the three of you, uh, was it a joy to? Stupid question, but it was a joy to work with these guys because they add to your toolkit, don't they?
Yeah, fully. I mean, the better the actor, the easier the job. I mean, always. I was just talking about Goliath with a couple interviews ago, working with Billy Bob for like 4 or 5 years. I mean, it's like the easiest job in the world in a sense because you don't even have to do anything. They make you better always. And it was the same case here. And with Shane, I was a fan of his and obviously knew his work, but he and I had never met. We'd never worked together. We were supposed to play detectives that know each other for a long time, and we met the day before we started shooting, so it was just one conversation and then it was off. But I mean, he's a true professional. He's been doing this for so long, and in so many different kinds of parts of movies. He's a pro. He knows what he's doing, and the two of us just got along right off the bat. And then the chemistry in terms of playing detectives, like that was just easy after that.
I have to ask: does music play a part in in you developing characters, do you hear rhythms and cadences in the characters that you take on?
Musicality and language is super important. What was hard for me for this, and I think I slipped up a couple times, is that when you're in the South, so we were shooting like Conyers, Georgia, so everyone's got like a really mellifluous, thick, rolling, beautiful Southern accent, right? Most of the characters are Southern, including Bill, Shade West character. I wasn't really supposed to be because I was supposed to be a cop, I guess, from some other town or some big city. But it's very hard to not speak that way when you're in a place like that. When you hear it all the time, it kind of just it's like honey that like covers everything, you know. So I had to resist that, but good writing always has musicality in it, and you can think of words like music. And I think when something is well written, it makes your job so much easier because you can hear the musicality in the language, and that informs the way that you say it. It just becomes kind of part of your thought process. Yeah, so it is important, sure.
What do you think audiences are going to take away from Walden?
I think surprisingly enough, I think a lot of people have the sense that maybe the justice system has failed them a little bit, and oftentimes are frustrated with how slow moving everything is, and would like to take matters into their own hands. Now, this is not like advisable. There is uh, Walden is a really violent dude, and obviously you can't do this in regular life. But we do have impulses in which we hope that the bad guys wouldn't get away with what they're getting away with. That you could kind of teach them a lesson, and that's kind of what Walden does. In terms of a takeaway, you know, it's funny. I think that it's a testament to his performance, but he is a Robin Hood of sorts. You kind of you're on his side. You empathize with Walden, and you're sort of rooting for him.
Yeah,
You're rooting for him throughout the film. Yeah,
he's kind of got that Michael Shannon vibe to him in this. I mean, it's just
interesting.
you feel for him, you know, and you shouldn't. You know, it's just
Yeah,
such a great performance.
yeah. That's the perfect anti-hero, really.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you could, yeah, and there's something kind of weirdly like sexy about him. It's so crazy to say. Not that Emil Hirsch is not attractive, sure, fine, but like, I mean, Walden, like
Yeah.
when someone is so singularly focused on a goal, that coupled with being like obsessively, almost autistically like perfectionist in his career and like the
Yeah.
best stenographer in the world, there's something about those two things in combination where you're like, I'm attracted to this person, you know.
Well,
So yeah, even though he's like a murderer.
in our final moments that we have, gosh, thank you so much for your time.
Of course.
uh do you miss live performance? Do you miss doing plays and things like that?
Sure. Or like acting live on, yes. Yeah. I mean, you know, this is better than nothing, certainly. But I miss being in rooms with real people. Like you know, and unfortunately, you know, after COVID, a lot of things in our business changed, and everything is now done kind of remotely through Zoom, and it just is what it is. It's the weirdest part is that all the preliminary meetings happen in like teleconference, and then you show up on set,
Yeah.
and there's always kind of a weird shock. It's like bringing a kid to daycare for the first time, or you know, picking your kid up from, you know what I mean? It's like you're all of a sudden in rooms with humans, and you're like, oh wow, I have to be a human being. I forgot what that's like.
Yeah, exactly. I have to wear pants. You know, kidding.
I have to
Um,
wear pants.
yeah. No,
Yeah,
I guess auditioning has changed because of that, because you can't
yeah,
read the casting director. You can't see his body language in a lot of, and
no,
there's, you know, these tape and ship things are just, you
yeah,
don't get a second chance. You don't have him going, can you try this way?
no,
Yeah.
no, you don't. But I mean, you know, I'm sure like if you look back in history of filmmaking, there have been crazy advances and changes that nobody was happy with. I think this is just something we're going to have to live with for a while, but at least it exists. I mean, you know,
It
hopefully
does.
AI doesn't replace our entire profession, and we can continue to do this. You know,
Yeah, yeah. In our final moments we have, are you going to step behind the camera and do a little directing?
I mean, I have already. Last couple of years, I directed a movie that I co-wrote a couple years ago. I've made some music videos and written pilots, and I worked on a TV show I wrote during the break here while we were on strike. And yeah, I mean, I'm fascinated by it. That's definitely the goal moving forward.
Well,
Certainly.
I appreciate and all that success. You deserve it. You're a hardworking actress, and it's great that you meet people that know the business from sweeping the stage to understanding lighting and all that. And you're one of those rare people.
Thank you.
I
Thank
do
you.
my homework.
I appreciate it. Time goes by quickly, you know. You don't
All right.
realize
Well,
like how long it's
I'm
been.
going to try to reach out to you on social media. Maybe we can do a longer
Sure.
interview someday. And I am
Yeah.
just such a fan of yours
Thanks.
as well.
Thanks, Tony. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Tanya, and
All
have a
right.
great day.
You too. You too. Talk to you soon.
Bye bye.